everybody, welcome to another Fatal Rose Creations tutorial. And in this tutorial I'm going to show you how I've started to do meshing recently, which is a little different than the way I used to do it. The way I used to do it isn't wrong or bad by any means, it's just I learned some new stuff and found easier ways to do things, and so now I'm going to share that with you. So if you've already watched the older tutorials, don't be upset because this will just make things easier. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've already made a design in Marvelous Designer, so I just want to quickly go over some things that you want to do in Marvelous Designer before you get into Blender. So first, make sure that you click on your avatar, you click Property Editor, then you're going to go to Smooth Avatar, click this box, and press 2. So that's what makes it look like this. I don't know why it already looks like this and it says that it doesn't, but yeah. So you want to smooth your avatar, and then you want to go to UV Editor and make sure that all of your stuff is in this box by clicking Reset to 2D Arrangement and then Fit All to UV1. And then in Property Editor, with all of your mesh selected, you're going to want your particle distance to be somewhere between 10 and 15. 15 for lower poly. The lower the particle distance, the higher poly the mesh. But the lower the particle distance, the more detailed a mesh can be, because it gives it the ability to move more naturally, if that makes sense. So somewhere between 10 and 15. This is a crop top, so I think having a lower particle distance is fine. And you also want to make sure you have under miscellaneous, you have it in quads. So then you can highlight everything and press Ctrl K to freeze it in place. That's why it's teal. Then we're just going to go to File, Export, OBJ Selected. And then we're going to go to wherever we save it to. Oh, where'd it go? Then you're going to have Select All Patterns checked, Single Object, Weld, Thin. Leave that what it is. All these should be checked. 1024 by 5. Include internal shape because we have a collar. If you don't use internal lines, then I don't think you need to include internal shape. Your scale should be M, 100%, X, Y up Z, and then click this first circle. And once you save these settings, they should always be the same. And then OK. Now we're going to open up Sims 4 Studio, and we can close Marvelous Designer. We're going to go to Cast, Create 3D Mesh, and then we're just going to search nude and get a nude body or nude female top. And this is going to be the name of your package file. So I'm just going to type my creator name and then the name of the shirt. And you're going to go to Mesh, Export Mesh, And then I just named that one, the name of the top and nude. And then we're also gonna go get a reference. Always try and do a base game reference. That's what makes your thing base game compatible. Where is that shirt? There it is. You can just name this whatever because it doesn't matter. Then mesh, export mesh. Now I know my original way showed you how to do this in only Blender 2.79, but for this I'm going to use 2.79 and 2.70. Now I know that the new Blender you can use I think Blender 3.3, but I haven't figured out how to do it, so I don't use it. After you open up your nude, let's name it to nude. Then we're gonna go File, Import, Wavefront OBJ, and double click on our package file. So now we've got our shirt. Before we do anything, we want to make sure that it's low enough poly. So we're just gonna click the shirt, go to this screwdriver, click Add Modifier, and then Decimate. And then we're gonna move this, and as we can see, it's at about 10,000 poly. So it's a little close to our 15,000, but I think the top body is only 3,000 something, so we shouldn't go out over 15,000. So I'm just gonna leave it as it is. If you hop in and you see that it's like over 15, go back into Marvelous Designer and change your particle distance. Alright, so the next thing we're gonna do is close the holes on the shirt. So first highlight everything by pressing A, and also make sure you open this up, click this, and then click faces. And we're going to click under shading and UV, click all these boxes. Now we're going to go close this and switch to edge select, and I'm going to hold Alt and then click this edge and then press F. That looks kind of wonky, so we'll do E instead. So sometimes, like if I have dresses that have like ruffles and stuff, it's easier to press F to fill it, but as you can see, sometimes it fills a little weird. So if it does, just do E, click, and then S, and then move your mouse, and then that should be good. And then we'll bring it up a little bit so it kind of still gives that draped over look. And we'll just do the same thing. Sorry if my voice is funny, I've been sick for 3 weeks. So we're just gonna do the same thing for all the holes. And we're just an edge select, holding Alt, and then left clicking, and E, click S. And then for the collars, I always like bring it down a little. And then do the sleeves. So this is a good example of a place that's might work to fill, because that little spot right there. So you just press F and it just makes one face. So now we're going to open this up while we have this whole face selected and click unwrap and put it back in face mode. And we're just going to shrink it down and move it. Now we're going to select this face, unwrap, G to grab, S to scale. On these ones, you hold Alt, while in face mode, hold Alt and then right click, unwrap, G to grab, S to scale. The size of these don't matter right now, we'll fix them later. Unwrap, G to grab, S to scale. Alright, so we got all our holes closed. And then I'm also going to go to here and just remove this pattern and just give it a new one real quick. Alright. So now we're going to click into nude and we're going to delete all the faces we don't need. So I'm just going to use C and then click my roll wheel to deselect. So we only want to delete faces that aren't visible after we close the holes. So I'm just pressing C and clicking my roll wheel. And then go under here. Alright, then we can just go over here, make it bigger, unselect all this real quick. Alright, now we're going to click over here, press X, faces. Alright, and then now I'm going to make my adjustments to make sure it's not clipping in the body. So I'm going to click on the shirt and then sculpt mode, switch to grab, drag this over, and this is just going to be like obvious clip fixing. We can test it in game later and go fix other stuff we find, but it just looked like it was clipping in the sleeves a little bit. So we're just gonna go ahead and fix that now. Alright, I think we got all the obvious clipping. Like I said, we might end up fixing some more stuff later, but this is just start. Alright, now we're gonna go over here to this triangle. Double click this and change it to UV_0. Drag this down. Click the plus and then UV_1. Then we're going to file, append. We're going to grab our reference, object, studio mesh. And we're going to delete the bone shape and delete the rig one. And then we're going to name this reference. Then we're going to press tab, make sure everything's selected, and then press W, and then click subdivide smooth about 2 or 3 times if your computer can handle it. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to our mesh, press tab and A, W, or remove doubles. Okay, back on our reference, on our regular shirt, click it, click the wrench and then click Add Modifier, Data Transfer. Source Object Reference, check this box, UVs, UV1, UV1. Before we used to change this, but I don't change it anymore. And then click Apply. Now we can hide our reference and press Tab, and we see our UV1 looks similar to that of the EA UV1. So that's what the EA UV1 looks like. Alright, so now we're gonna File, Save As, and call it Data Trans. Alright, now that that is saved, we are going to minimize this and open up Blender 2.70. I'm going to File, Open, and open that data transfer file. Once we open the data transfer file, we're going to go to Vertex Paint, and I'm just going to hide my created shirt really quick and click this and change it to solid. Then you grab here, click that, and I drop it around the booby area. Then we're going to go into our shirt, go to Vertex Paint, and then right here we're going to click Set Vertex Colors. And then we're going to switch this to object mode, go here, switch to object mode, click reference, hold shift, click the name of your shirt, click weight paint, then transfer weights, and then nearest vertex. Then we're going to save this as weight paint and vertex paint. Then we're going to close out and go back into 2.79 where we're going to open that file. So it might look a little crazy right now, but don't worry. So we're going to delete our reference. Then we're going to click on our shirt, hold shift, click nude, click the 3D space, and press Ctrl J. Now it looks normal. Alright, so the next step is to press A, then click right here and press open, and then you're going to go to your templates and open up your template. And now we need to get all of this into the green area. So I'm going to take these first. So sometimes when you open up the template, it kind of elongates your mesh, and sometimes with shirts it helps if you highlight it and then press E to just get a better shape. I don't like doing that with sleeves though, because then it just makes it one big circle that doesn't look great. So you're just going to use your movement tools to size these down so that they fit in the green area. Now some creators will say not to put your mesh stuff here because a lot of people will put like accessory stuff there. Like I've even put accessory stuff there, but I always opt for usually what gives me the bigger mesh. But I guess this time it's not much of a difference, so we'll put it right here. I always try and keep shirt pieces about the same size so it doesn't cause issues when texturing. Alrighty, once you got everything in the green area, because it's a shirt, now where we close the holes it looks kind of funny. So what we're gonna do is just press L, space, and then type edge and click edge split. L, space, edge split, L, space, edge split, L, space, edge split. It's really important that you do this last because after you do it, you can't press L to highlight the whole thing. And sometimes that's really annoying, so it's just easy to do it last. So then we're just gonna file, save as, merged. And when we go into Sims 4 Studio, I'm gonna open up our package that we named, import mesh, and we're gonna import that merge file. Alright, so as you can see, where it says polygons, my approximation was pretty darn close. I said it'd be pretty close to 15, but it's under 15, so we're happy with that. And the 15,000 number I get is from TSR, and I like to upload there, so I just use that as my base number. So now we need a tester texture, so I'm just going to go back over here, press L on all the body pieces, then click here, press P, selection, and it should separate the two. And we're going to highlight the shirt, tab, A, X, new, 20, 48, 40, 96. We're going to press OK. Then I'm going to go over here, click all the lamps and the arrows, turn that camera off. We're going to turn the body off and turn the rig off. And then I'm going to go into object mode, delete these colors, new, and I'm going to change that to white. And then I'm going to change this to 2 and hit bake. Then I'm just going to click image, save as image, and I'm going to call this shirt AO. Then also while we're here, we're gonna turn the body back on, click the body, press tab, A, click this X, new, and then click OK. And then we're gonna hit bake. And this is gonna give us what we need for our shadow map. Normally you wouldn't do this until you've made all your adjustments, just in case you make major adjustments, but I don't think we're going to need to make major adjustments. Alright, so now I can go into Sims 4 Studio, go to texture, import, and put the AO on there. And it'll look like a nice tester texture. So we can also put a tester thumbnail. And then we'll go do our categories. Adult, teen. So this just, all of these different selections just control how things end up in game. The important things are make sure you assign your colors properly, your age, the gender. Don't click for it to appear when the sim is naked, and then disallow for random. So then we're gonna click save. Then we're gonna go to documents, Electronic Arts, Sims 4, mods. And we're just gonna drop that on in there, and we're gonna go test it. Alright, now that we're in game, we just need to go find our shirt, which is super easy because it's the only custom content I have in my game right now. And as we can see, that's our shirt. I'll change her hair so we can see it a little better. And now we just want to stress test it. So one thing is we want to make her walk to see if there's any weird movement. So we can see it's clipping a lot back there. And then we also want to go to body presets and do the biggest body and the skinniest body. And you can test whatever ones, but usually if it works on those two, it should work on all the other presets. And so it looks like we just need to bring it out by her neck a little bit, and then we're good. And so the next things that we'll do is we'll go into ZBrush to add some detail, and then we'll go into Substance Paint to give it a nice texture, and finish it up in Photoshop.
It feels like you got it, you want